Okay, it's been a long time coming. We're gonna talk about Dr. Stone.
Dr. Crone.
Dr.
Dr.
Bone.
Do we
Bone.
want to do an initial 10-minute non-spoiler discussion and then move into spoiler territory?
No, hold on. It doesn't have to be non-spoiler. Let's do a quick segment on Dr. Stone up to where the anime ended because we are going to go up after the anime. So
Yeah.
if you're an anime only watcher, there will be a point of this video where you will have to or podcast where you will have to bail.
Man, I need to. I did the anime end where I thought it would.
Did anyone know? Did anyone check?
It ends, I think, at the village tournament.
No.
Oh, that's
no,
still okay. All right.
No.
No?
I know where it ends. Give me a minute and I'll confirm. But y'all go ahead and start.
Dr. Stone is a Shonen Jump manga / anime featuring your boy Senku, who is a god tier scientist that, along with the rest of the world, gets petrified in a mysterious incident, and then 3,700 years later, he wakes up and he has to restart civilization with science.
Science!
That's it.
It's
That's
cool.
it.
It's cooler than it sounds, and it already sounds really cool.
It is one of the long running genre of non-battle battle shonen, where here all of the shonen-esque conflicts are handled with scientific inventions.
Yes. It's a very unique show. I feel like they've done research on everything that they do and everything that they say in terms of what's what they're doing. And what's great about the show is that it never escalates to a point of absolute ridiculousness. I think there are times where it comes on the board of there are times where it comes to that borderline, but it's not hard to kind of stretch your imagination a little bit. Okay, yeah, they were able to do that. They could, yeah, sure, why
Yeah.
not?
I know the writer.
Yeah,
He's mentioned that he has fact checkers for stuff
Yeah.
like geography or geology and stuff like that. And kind of like Joe said, there may be some parts where you have to stretch your imagination a little bit, but I think for a lot of the things the characters create,
yeah.
I think they make a very well reasoned step-by-step process where
even-
it's believable they could do the things they did.
They will even say hey, it's not gonna be perfect because of XYZ, and this is why probably we can only do it this one time and not every
Yeah.
other time to make something bigger.
They use the difficulty of making some stuff as a limiter, and then they ride around it, which I think is a smart way to do it. Yeah,
Yeah.
there's a scientific advisor to the series. He's in every chapter basically. It's like advisor Kurae or something. So he definitely is in contact with someone who knows a lot about science. The writer himself of this story is the writer of one of my favorite manga, I Shield 21. And it's drawn by Boichi, who does Sunken Rock.
And guys, he is such a fucking good artist. It's kind of insane.
If there's anything I could say about the anime is that it's a very generic anime for how good quality Boichi's art is. So, as is customary with me, if you enjoy manga and you want to get into this, I would say go manga. But it's a fine anime. You can't go wrong with it.
Yeah.
As the resident anime boy, I'm gonna go ahead and say I like the manga a lot more than the anime.
Whoa! Plot
Wow!
twists.
I agree with Tyler. Tyler's the big anime boy. I tried watching the anime several times, but it compared to the manga, I just feel it goes so slow.
Well, it's and again
Mhm.
there's nothing spectacular
Bad.
about it. It's a good adaptation.
It's
But Boichi's art is god tier.
it is
Yeah.
true.
Um, if we want to get another point of data here for how good the anime is as an adaptation, recently during the holidays I went home, and one of my best friends from high school, I was eating lunch with him, and he's a person who's never ever been really big into any kind of Japanese media. He's not a big anime fan. He had never read a manga before, but he mentioned to me that he heard about Dr. Stone, and he's like, it seemed very up my alley, which I would have thought the exact same thing. This is a guy who had never watched an anime unless like I sat down and was like, "Hey, let's watch this together."
And then y'all would watch Lucky Star together and shit.
No,
Yeah,
we
you
would watch
would.
like Death Note and shit. But he said he binged Doctor Stone the anime really hard, and then immediately he was like, "I need more," and then he binged the manga and he got all the way caught up with it. So he's ahead of me even. So I don't know. Maybe this. I know for a long time people said like Cowboy Bebop is anime for people who don't like anime. It's a good introductory one. I think Dr. Stone could potentially be that because he's someone who's very not into anime.
I think Dr. Stone has joined Death Note, My Hero, and Full Metal Alchemist as fantastic starting point anime.
Yeah, hold on. We don't know how to end. This could end with them have to go back in time and freezing themselves with the stone power for some goddamn reason.
Oh no.
I mean, sure, but it's still a good starting. You're gonna have a good time for a long time in a standard starting way. You know?
Yeah, based off of the arc, like the arc that's going on right now, I think it's still going on. It's pretty great.
I've been enjoying it. I'm not. We're all at different levels. So if the anime ends at the tournament, Bradley has finished up to the Stone War arc, which is the Tsukasa arc.
Yeah, I got to where I don't know. I guess it's the spoiler territory now for the manga.
No. I have reached the climax of the Platinum arc.
Ooh.
Joe, I don't know where you're at, and then Tyler's caught up.
I think I'm 4 chapters behind from getting caught up.
I just checked the anime, and where it ends is so criminal.
Oh.
It is so criminally bad because it ends right in the very middle of a very important arc in the manga.
Damn.
And they're 1-to-1, so like the anime is true to the manga. It's not like Boruto or Naruto or something.
Yeah.
So it ends at probably like a very climactic point in the manga. It's in the arc where they're building a cell phone.
Oh.
And it ends right in the middle of it, right before they finish building the cell phone.
That's the middle of the
right
second
there.
half of Stone Wars.
Yeah.
Yes, it's right in the middle of it, and I'm just like, oh, go read the manga.
That's a yikes. That's all right. Let's talk about some general stuff like the characters and the structure of the story. So Dr. Stone starts off really weird.
It does.
Where it confuses a lot of readers into thinking Taiju is the main character, and
Which
Taiju
is
is
okay.
just generic as fuck.
No, you're very wrong.
I mean, I like Taiju, but you gotta admit he's generic, right?
I feel like the
No.
top point is that like you have such a generic character that you need to introduce into this world, the stone world.
Okay,
This
fine.
Stone
Taiju,
World.
Yeah.
he's Mario though. He's
Yeah.
he's a great character.
You have to use him as a way for audiences to connect, because if you start off with Senku being the god scientist and you start off with him, you're just like, oh, what the hell is happening?
Which is interesting when like 10 chapters in, the Taiju is written off the story for like a good chunk of the story at that point.
I think what Joe was saying is kind of on the mark where because we start with such an average or even maybe below average intelligence guy, it kind of elevates his partner Senku quite a bit, where we really look up to him like, oh my god, he's so smart, he knows everything. So then whenever we move to focusing on Senku more, it's like, oh fuck yeah, we get to be Senku now.
Right,
Yeah.
so Senku quickly becomes the main character. I mean, to me he always
God.
was, but I
Yeah.
feel like it confused a lot of people.
No, I agree.
He's the titular Dr. Stone, but it's also Soap. So it's kind of weird.
What I so speaking of Senku, what I love about him is that he's not like, I feel like these super smart characters fall into these tropes all the time where they think they're better than anyone else and they think that they're the ones that are going to solve everything. One of the big character traits I love about Senku, like right off the bat, is just like, I cannot do anything without everyone else.
Yeah.
Like, I literally need other people to help me do anything. So that's a big reoccurring theme in Dr. Stone.
If we want to get into it, I think that's the best writing
Yeah.
portion of Dr. Stone is how well it handles teamwork.
Yeah, like that's what my friend was saying. Is he said that's one reason he really connected with Dr. Stone is because a lot of other, shows, books, games, whatever, whenever you have the character who is they are the smartest one, a lot of times that trope of character can be very nihilistic, or they have a big ego, like everyone else is dumb, or like everything is meaningless. But Senku, because he's as smart as he is, he loves humanity and what humanity has accomplished, and he's very not nihilistic. He's in fact, I want to save all of humanity because of these amazing things that we have done together.
He's unflinching in his optimism. Even if he'll act like he's too cool and cold, all his actions speak to someone who will wage a war without ever allowing himself or any of his troops to die or kill another person. That's just the kind of person that he is.
Mm-hmm.
The show is very optimistic to a fault, to the point where I think it's also its main weakness.
Yeah, it's one of those things that like you're like, okay, there's almost no tension in terms of like it kind of reminds me of One Piece for a little bit, where I would talk to Willer and it's just like I'm waiting for the part where like Luffy breaks, I think, when I was in the middle of reading it, where it's just like there's no like right now there's no sense of like Senku feels headstrong in what he's going to do. You know he's going to succeed. It's like, okay, he has his optimism, but there's no struggle almost with him and having this idea.
So one of the main, I have two problems with Dr. Stone that keep it from being a 5 out of 5 for me. One of them is the fact that Senku never struggles.
Yes, that's the big thing.
He's so out of this world genius that there's never been a time where Senku didn't know how to do a thing. He knows how to do everything. I would like it for there to be an arc where Senku is not sure how to do something because he didn't study it in his fucking 16 years of life.
Yeah.
And then he has to figure it out through the scientific process instead of just being like, yeah, I know how to make this complicated pump for this niche mechanism. It's like,
yeah,
come on.
Like, if there was one thing I was going to change about Dr. Stone, it's that it's a lot of what you just said, where the story paints itself as a celebration of science, and to a degree it is that. It is. But science is a lot more than the end result. It's a lot more than the stuff we already know.
Yeah.
Science is the study of the natural world. It's a process. And one thing I really liked was at the beginning when he was having to experiment with different amounts and concentrations of these chemicals to find out what would cure everybody. And I would like to see a lot more processes and him trying to figure out stuff he doesn't already know.
That's been like the one thing he's discovered the whole series, really.
Yeah.
Everything else is stuff that he knows how to do, and then it's very fulfilling to watch him and his kingdom of science like build components that will then be reused without having to be explained in later mechanisms. So it's like, oh, we've built all these things that go into building, say, a car. And then it's just like, well, we don't have to explain how this and this happened because we've explained in the past. Just assume that they optimized the process and it no longer takes them a week. And they can do it faster now.
The first time is always the hardest part.
Yeah.
Which is okay because it doesn't kill the pacing for it. But, like, I always thought the way that the series ends, or the way that, like, a series does a time skip, is that Senko is like, I can't figure this out. And then, so I have to, like, give it the information to the people that will show up later, and that's what it's going to be. And then turns out they kind of already did that.
Yeah. Well, let's talk about the other characters because I think they're equally important.
Oh boy, are they great!
Chrome.
When Kohaku, Chrome, Ginro, and what's the other one? The other guard? There's Ginro and
is it Jinro?
Is it Silver?
No,
there's
Silver.
the blonde one and the dark hair glasses one.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Dark hair glasses one's cool. I promise.
I think that is our core group of, and Suika. Suika.
It's Ginro and Kinro.
Kinro.
Okay.
We have Tsukasa, Taiju, Ogawa, Kohaku.
Kaseki.
Ooh. We're not gonna go into that. Never mind. I forgot. This is a PG-13 podcast.
Speaking of PG-13, Kohaku though, am I right, ladies?
Okay, so there's one other thing about Dr. Stone that I really like, and you really don't realize it unless you read and you pay attention to what they're saying, but
These chicks are hot.
no, but yes. Time and Dr. Stone, like, is kind of the feasible amount of time it takes them. For, like, at the beginning, it takes them, like, what is it, a year and a half, 2 years for them to get the right amount to, like, awaken someone else up. Am I correct?
Yeah.
And, like,
there's this event after where Bradley has read where so much time passes in a single chapter that it was staggering. And I really like that, actually. It moves at such a neck-breaking speed that you start to enjoy that fast pace of it.
and also now everyone's post time skip officer, so it's all good.
I enjoy...
Also, we're not related, officer, because I was adopted. I hate that plot point so much.
I was just gonna say, like, I enjoy Dr. Stone. I like that Senku is super smart and everything goes his way, just because it's a fun character. All of the Stone Bone crew are all crazy.
Stone Bone.
They're all crazy characters. They're all really extreme in their own way. They're all, I think, 18 at this point, honestly, after the 3 time skips that they've had.
Oh, Tyler, your badass coat you made for the Ren Fair was based on the winter outfits in Dr. Stone.
Yes, I did make a Renfest costume.
Dude,
based
that's like
off of their winter outfits.
looking costume.
It was so specific too, because it's like I need a house robe that only goes down to my elbows. But then I ended up looking like a Water Tribe person.
Water Tribe.
Water Tribe.
But some other characters I'd like to talk about is Chrome and Gin. I think they're the 2 best characters maybe in the show.
Kaseki, the old man.
Okay, all right, we can talk about him, sure. But Chrome was the game changer of Dr. Stone that made me truly love this series. Mm-hmm. He's like a taiju, but like a science apprentice forager taiju instead of this pure stamina brute. Where these moments where Chrome is learning about science and learning how to think like a scientist, he's the first scientist of the post-apocalypse that was there naturally. And I think that's really interesting, and the arcs they make him go through, especially... Okay, we'll save that for the spoiler section, but he has a really cool moment after, I think, where the anime ends. As well as a lot of great moments before then. Dr. Stone's really good at having these impactful moments, like the first light bulb and making the glasses. The way they're drawn just makes them seem so impactful, and there's another really good one that comes to mind, but that's after where Bradley's at as well.
Yeah, those moments are very much like a celebration of like where humankind has come to.
Yeah.
Like, no one, I don't think anyone like in day-to-day society, you would never think about like how someone could like live their whole life without their glasses and not know what glasses are, and then to be introduced to the concept of glasses and can literally understand of like, oh, I've literally been seeing a lesser version of the world my entire life.
That panel of the sunflowers fucked me up. That was like the first time I got glasses in the 8th grade. I was like, oh my...
Anime did a really great adaptation of it. It was a great moment.
Good to hear. And then Gen. So Gen's a really fun character because he gets to just do a lot of mind games, which is important for the war. But I think my favorite part about Gen is his motivation. The thing that makes him join Senku's team is the fact that they're gonna have soda.
Yeah, I remember that.
That motivation's so good because that soda represents the comfort and the progress that the Science Kingdom will make as opposed to Tsukasa's kingdom. Mm-hmm. And when he joins the crew, he brings in a lot of fun. Definitely one of my faves.
He's got some of the best facial reactions in the manga.
God.
Yeah.
Oh god, they're great.
Y'all name some of y'all's faves. Go. Get some characters in there.
I definitely enjoy Kaseki a lot because anytime, like, he's always like, I'm not sure about that, and then he's like, oh, but you get to do this, and then he's like, and his shirt rips off.
One of my favorite characters doesn't show up much later until after Bradley, but he's the Admiral.
Oh yes.
Oh, interesting. Fantastic. I don't like him that much.
Oh man, I think he's great because he's kind of like with Senku, which you would expect Senku to be like so cocky and so self-sure about himself, but he has these moments where he
he's a good leader.
He can't do everything, and so he's like, well, I need people's help, but he can't. He's too proud to lower himself down to a level to like ask for help, and I just think he's a great kind of like foil to Senku's personality of like just being like he wants to do everything by himself and be the one person that can do everything and be like the best that they can be. Where Senku is just like, no, I need all the people that can do everything together, working together all the time.
With that spoiler out of the way, I think we can officially enter our spoiler section here.
Tyler.
And let's talk about Tsukasa. I think that he's my second weakness of Dr. Stone.
Which one's Tsukasa?
Tsukasa's the main villain of
He's the strongest primate high schooler.
Oh yeah.
You know.
I like his motivation somewhat, but also it's kind of I don't know. There's so many gaps and holes.
It gets to a bit too much of like this twirly mustache villain kind of thing. Like I get it, but at the same time, like it doesn't feel very. I don't know. It's just so simplistic that it's hard to like kind of. But at the same time, that's kind of what's great about it against Senku, because Senku's deal is I have to go the long way to creating civilization again, whereas he's like, nope, just start over.
I wish it wasn't as black and white as kids and no adults, because he recruits Ukyo, the sonar specialist who worked for the military. You're gonna tell me he's a kid?
Yeah.
What the fuck happened there? It's never explained, and I have no idea how old Ukyo is. He's probably a 17-year-old radar god, which is not a fun story beat to have.
He's also a spectacular sniper.
Yeah, Ukyo's cool. I like him.
What about the... do they make him the police officer? It's the guy with the eye patch. Is that him?
No.
Yes.
No.
Yeah, that's the police officer.
Yeah, but
I wasn't talking about the police officer.
Yeah, I know.
Yo.
I was just mentioning in characters that I also like and also kind of hate. That's one of my characters.
Magma is fun.
That name.
I'll have to say, and this character gets it a lot. So like, I think they even they have a spin-off manga for him. Yeah. He has a lot of backstory for his character. And they forge a nice relationship in both the manga and the anime between Byakuya and
that chapter.
Our main boy.
That chapter with old Byakuya and the platinum was so good.
Oh,
do y'all remember that one?
When he's, yeah,
it's close to where I stopped reading.
Yeah, I
and
do.
That one got me emotional. Like what a good dad. But then there's also the point where he sold like his car to get Senku his equipment. That's another one of those pages.
I think that's another thing that I really like with the show is that there's no tragic backstory to a lot or any of these characters.
Yeah, well,
they are all, because there's no point.
Tsukasa has one.
Yeah, there's no point in having a tragic backstory when everyone has to start over again, kind of deal, because everyone starts at zero.
Yeah,
I mean, they're reviving people from the dead to start a new, like, civilization. Would you be reviving anybody with a tragic backstory?
Right, but what I'm saying is, like, I feel like those can sometimes be used as a character motivation or as a character-defining trait of that. Oh, I grew up alone because all my parents were dead, and Dr. Stone doesn't really do that. It makes people that like feel like people sometimes, where it's just like this person's just really good at what they do. They grew up normally, but they're just really good at this one thing. And
nobody
that's
got
what I
time
really
for that.
appreciate is that Senku didn't like have a shit father that's like, you shouldn't be doing science. You should be in theater.
It's cool that he had a. It's cool that he had a supportive father.
Yes.
About the revival thing, I thought it was such a cool setup that Tsukasa was crushing people, but then you get that reveal that Yuhi Riza, I can never say her name.
Taiju's girlfriend.
Taiju's girlfriend was hoarding, which, by the way, the fact that they're not together now is weird.
Really? What?
Well, the fact that he's like, never mind, I won't tell you yet. I'll tell you when blank. I hate that trope, but
I do hate that.
let's just have a romance for God's sake. They need to populate the fucking earth. I dislike the reveal that she was hoarding all the pieces so she could glue them back together. I feel like no one died in Dr. Stone yet.
Yeah.
Oh, lots of people died.
Are you positive? Because it feels like the kind of thing where they will not address anyone and they're gonna hand wave it all with Yurihisa was able to collect all the pieces and she.
That's probably what happened. I really don't know.
Yeah.
Like there was a point where I was like, yeah, in this.
Stone world.
This big pile of rubble that used to be like 50 people, you can tell which tiny shard went to which person and put them all back together.
Well, no, specifically, the reveal was that like whenever Tsukasa broke people throughout her time as a spy, she would take all the pieces and like hide them in a cave or something, right?
Actually, yes, people have died. So, like the space station crew.
Yeah.
That was a tragic backstory.
Backstory people
their
don't
survival.
Count. That's just One Piece. No one dies in One Piece.
But
don't count. We know this.
Also, nobody's died on screen yet. You right? Except, well, no, that's false.
Maybe some people died when they were attacking, like in the cars, and like there was explosions.
Tsukasa's dead.
No, that's the thing. Tsukasa gets revived, or at least
no, he doesn't. No.
Well, the whole goal of the current arc is to be able to petrify him so that they can revive him.
True, but he boy dead.
Even then, the people on the airplanes that blew up and their shards got sent to the ends of the earth, Yuzuriha is just gonna find those and glue them all back together.
She's gonna put Trump back together.
Donald Trump's gonna get put back together.
Yes, he will. In this stone world,
man, that was the biggest disappointment in the anime. There was no anime Donald Trump in the first episode.
But it bothered me, right, that, and then at the end, Tsukasa gets redeemed because they introduce Hyogoro as like the second-hand man who was eviler than him.
Yeah, that's a reoccurring thing about Dr. Stone is that has the DBZ effect, where like the previous villain becomes your ally now, and I kind of understand the point. The whole theme of the series is that humanity has to put aside its differences, work together to get, and that's how we progress.
Yeah.
But like it's so kind of frustrating because you kind of just be like, all right, well, this person's gonna be here forever now. Like there's no this person being evil. I guess they're not evil, but being like this antagonistic force really doesn't mean anything.
At the end of the day, what people's complaints with Steven Universe is, I end up being for Dr. Stone, where it's like, I wish it was just a little bit darker. I'd still give it a 4 out of 5. There's so many good moments and characters.
About Tsukasa's redemption, I wasn't upset that he got redeemed. I just didn't. I wasn't huge on the execution of the redemption.
Yeah.
I wonder if he died to protect Senku.
That did happen, right? He gets in the way of the spear.
He protects Senku, and then like, but
he's also
not dead. He's just needed into a vault.
In the arc after, though, I like a lot of the teamwork moments in that arc.
The arc after has been very good. I think they're doing a great job in like progressing and so on and so forth. And the situation that's going on right now is just.
Which is
cool.
cool.
And it's really cool, and it progresses this lore. There's a great shot of a MacGuffin later that's really cool.
Is it the capsule?
No, it's another MacGuffin.
Okay, past me.
Right.
Ryusei is introduced at this point. His introduction was so sudden.
Which was Ryusei?
Ryusei is the admiral.
Yeah, I love him, but yeah.
It was so sudden, and then like he has his gimmick of snapping, which is neat. But yeah, he was introduced kind of rushed. But then like the stuff with the Bradley, slight spoilers.
I'll cover my ears.
The stuff with the flying devices had some of the most beautiful pages in the series. Like when they make the blimp, and then there's stuff with that. It's freaking great.
It's not a blimp. A blimp doesn't have a basket. It has a carriage.
Man. Anyways, I like the girl of this arc I'm in.
Oh, yeah. I know what you're
Kohaku's infiltration mission's dope. That underwater mission was really intense. I like that.
Was really intense. That was a cool moment where like they're like, oh, we just got screwed at this. Yeah, we're like,
you were talking about lack of tension. I would say like that arc was able to build the tension well.
Yeah.
Even knowing that like that none of this is probably going to be final, the difficulty that they have to go through to get out of the situation is tense.
The big thing is that it's less about like there's less of a risk. I think that's also the point too, is that the author wants to introduce a way that he can eliminate characters, but not necessarily kill them off quite hastily, but just find another way to like to minimize the amount of tools, quote unquote, that Senku has to like get around this situation.
Yeah, that was a good way to do that.
So it like, yeah, when you're missing half the people that can get your stuff done. I think even himself got hit. Am I wrong about that? No, he was on the island at the time.
Yeah, it was just the boats.
But yeah, it was great tension building. It's just like there never feels a permanency of whatever happens. Or there's
Ginro on the ship was a good moment for that character too. It was like him and Suika having to do that mission on the boat.
Yeah.
That was fun. That's as far as I've gotten. It's at the climax where there's combat happening. They found the MacGuffin they're looking for.
Mm-hmm.
I'm into it. I'll definitely have more to say when I do eventually catch up. Which I guess if y'all want to talk about anything after that, spoilerful, like.
If you haven't been reading Dr. Stone, I highly recommend reading Dr. Stone. If just for the art alone. I think the art's pretty great. My only other big thing about Dr. Stone is that I feel like one or two things can be one chapter a little bit too slow, but that's about it. Like, I feel like sometimes it gets a little bit laggy in some aspects, but other times it's really fast paced.
For me, I think Dr. Stone's great. Again, a really good 4 out of 5. I think everyone can enjoy this. For me, I'm the opposite. I wish some things were a chapter too fast. And despite the 2 major complaints I brought up with it, they're really not enough to take away from the fun.
No.
Yeah, I'm kind of in the everyone can enjoy this camp that Willer is in. I would say there's a lot of manga out there where I can be like, oh, this person I know would really, really like it. This other type of person probably would hate it.
Mm-hmm.
Dr. Stone is something I think anyone can at least give a try, and they'll probably get some kind of enjoyment out of it.
Yeah.
Tyler, why don't you close us off with your final thoughts on Dr. Stone?
Opinions, braveries.
As an isekai fan myself, Dr. Stone is a great isekai.
No! You're so right, though.
Technically correct.
Yeah. Dr. Stone, like, I didn't realize at first, but it's like a 70% isekai, and it lured me in without me realizing.
The day has been rude where I got Willer to watch isekai.
Yeah. There you go. Dr. Stone, everybody. It's great. 10 billion% recommended.